that we normally have is a motivation to do what we're told to do while the boss is watching.
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay, but when the boss is not watching, how much motivation does it take to go sit down under the shade tree and
Mm,
relax?
yes. Mm,
Okay, there's a different kind of motivation to continue to working while the boss is there.
yes, of course.
Right, because you're German, you say, or let us say, that part of Eastern Europe and whatnot is motivated by fear, motivated by
Uh,
fear of not performing and perhaps being accused or criticized. And so that's the standard kind of motivation that we have, is doing what we're told to do, whether we like it or not. And so we wind up not liking what we're told to do, but we continue to do it. That's our motivation. We're trained that way.
yeah, but why don't you actually like doing what you don't like? You know what I'm saying? Like you can actually like doing, you know.
Yeah, that's the whole point of learning to like what you're doing.
Yes, to be
Okay?
satisfied.
Right, to find some satisfaction. So that you begin to like what you're doing and using a different kind of motivation. Rather than motivating from a negative place out of fear, we motivate out of a positive place because we like what we're doing. And it's certainly a whole lot easier to like sitting under a shade tree and relaxing than it is to like digging a hole with a shovel.
Yes, but you would
Okay,
get
so that's how we
restless.
train. That's how we train is we train by doing something that's very easy and satisfying, just relaxing.
Of course, of course.
All right.
But
Well, that's your question, and that's the answer to it. Where do you find motivation to practice meditation is because you're not trying to dig a hole to gain some value or to do it because you were told to do it, that in fact the motivation comes from relaxing and stop doing.
yes, yes.
Stop trying to get anything out of it because you've already gotten, by quitting work, you've already gotten the relaxation.
You're talking about meditation because like you still have to do
Talking
some
about
work.
I'm talking about anapanasati, I'm talking about correct practice. I'm not talking about meditation. Meditation is much more like digging a hole out in the sun, looking for something, noting. That's meditation. And we're not practicing meditation. We're practicing seeing that, in fact, digging a hole is unwholesome, puts holes in the ground for one thing, and
Yes,
stop doing the unwholesome and start relaxing instead, which is wholesome.
yes, 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 yes. Of course, desire comes and then you kind of chase around it, and you know, like
Right? The desire to get something in from the hole. Maybe a treasure is there.
yes, and you know, sometimes you feel like you're being pulled around by these desires and aversions,
Hmm. That's
and
why we call them unwholesome. That's why we
yes,
call them hindrances to just relaxing.
it's like compulsive is habitual.
Well, the compulsion is not really what you would think. The compulsion is the drive that we get from avoidance of negative responses, fear. That's what compulsion comes from. It doesn't come from uh, getting wholesome things. It comes from getting unwholesome things. You feel compelled to do something. You're always, when you feel compelled, you're in a bad state of mind. You're in a fearful state of mind. You feel like you've got to go do it.
Yes, there's a thing called FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes, that's one of
That's
the motivations.
yes, that's a big one.
Fear of not getting what the boss wants to give you or doesn't want to give you, and you're trying to earn it. But when the boss leaves, why can't we just sit out under the tree? Take it easy. Stop working. That in fact, stop working is the job that needs to be done, is to just stop. But within Western context, we can only stop after we get all the work done, every item that's on the to-do list. So the proper way to do it is to dispose of the to-do list so that there's nothing left to do. Now the job is done because there's no more items left on the to-do list because the to-do list has been destroyed.
Yes. I don't know.
I know you don't know. That's why I see you so confused when we're talking, is because you're still wanting to get something out of it.
Yes.
But the teaching of the Buddha is a dead loss. You're not going to get anything. There's no attainments. There's no magical powers. There's no special experiences. It's a feeling of relief for having gotten rid of all the stuff that drives you. And so I
Yes.
use the example of the boss is just driven off in his car, which means that that part of your mind that is your boss can take a vacation. He can go away. He can drive away in his car, leaving you with nothing to do. And so you can relax. Stop trying to get anything.
Get something out of life, right?
Pardon?
Stop trying to get anything out of life, right?
Yeah, you've already gotten everything you need. You're already arrived. You're already enlightened. Sit down and enjoy it. You're not coming from a sense of loss, come from a sense of wholeness, and it's just merely an attitude change. Your attitude is you want something, and that's unwholesome, and it keeps you driven. It makes you compelled to do stuff. But when you change your attitude from, oh, I've already got all I need, now we can just sit down and relax and enjoy what we do.
Mm.
And this is absolutely upside down to everything that you've ever been taught. This is why the teaching of the Buddha is so profound, it's so difficult to understand. It's exactly opposite what you've been taught your whole life.
A to-do list to like complete the to-do list, right?
Yeah, that's what you've been taught your whole life is take one item at a time or even more than one item at a time on the to-do list and go do it.
Yes.
And here, we're just throwing out the to-do list. That's the job, is to finish with the to-do list, right? So let's just finish it. It's all a matter of changing your attitude.
So let's say ambition is antithetical to practice, right?
Well, ambition is what people bring to practice, and that's what needs to be changed, is to stop being ambitious. and start enjoying life. Your ambition so far has already gotten you all kinds of things, and you're still ambitious. So ambition doesn't leave because you're successful at your ambitions. It just creates more habits of more ambition. And ambition is just a polite word for greed, wanting, struggling, compelled, compelled by ambition. And that's an attitude. Let's change our attitude. In fact, that compelled ambition is the attitude of a loser who wants to become a winner by doing what's on his ambitious to-do list. And if you change your attitude of, oh, I don't need to do anything, I can just stop being ambitious. I've already gotten everything I need. I'm a winner now. Winners, real winners, are not ambitious. An example of that is in a prize fight with boxing gloves and rings and audiences and all of that. Both of the combatants are losers. Both of them are victims. That's why they're in the ring fighting. The world champion doesn't fight those guys. He doesn't fight anymore. He's the world champion. How, he's not going to go do it with them. The ambitious are losers. And here you are, ambitious. Change your attitude from being ambitious to you've already gotten everything you need. You've already won the war. You've already won the battle. Now you can sit down and relax. The boss who judges you is just driven off in his car. Stop judging yourself and accept yourself the way you are. You're okay the way you are. This is what we need to practice. And when you practice that, you get good success. Yeah, well, I can relax. Well, I can feel good. Well, I can feel successful. I can feel satisfied. And that becomes our motivation. The motivation is because we get something of value out of it. And what's the value? Relaxation, peace, joy. Wow, no more work to be done. We can relax.
And how do you practice it in real time? Like, how do you
How
do it?
you practice this in real time is the thought that you have is an unwholesome thought given to you by the boss. And so what you say to that thought is, oh, I don't have to do that right now. Wow, I can throw that thought out and just relax. And we do that one after another, after another, after another. Every time you have a thought of have a thought of ambition, say, aha, I see that. Aha, I see that ambition. Wow, I can just drop it and be happy and content the way things are. I don't have to go get anything. And you practice that over and over and over again. And pretty soon, very soon, you begin to like feeling like you don't have any work to do. You're already okay.
So you have to resist the wanting to do something, right?
Well, I wouldn't say resist because resist actually is just more work. It's got ambition in it. So here you are wanting to do stuff, and now you're resisting doing it. That creates a conflict inside the mind. And most people are at conflict between what they're supposed to do and what they want to do. And the reality is you can drop both of those sides of the fight and just say, well, I don't have anything to do. Well, I'm glad I see that order. I'm glad I see that boss. And now he can just get in his car and drive away.
Yeah, but if let's say in the morning I lay in bed, the desires will come stronger and stronger until I'm out of the bed.
Yes,
So
exactly. You're driven, your whole life is driven by your desire. Your whole life is driven by your uh, wanting,
Yes.
your ambition.
But these are very strong kind of desires, can be really like you.
Well, you've been practicing. You've been going to the gym of desire, and now you can lift 500 kilos of ambition.
So you're not always gonna win. Sometimes desire takes over and you do it. Like, right? You're not gonna, like.
Right? That you. In fact, what you're telling me is that you're weak, and the ambitions are strong because you've been
Yes, yes, true.
practicing that side. So it's time to start practicing and building up the skills and building up the strength, so that you can just nothing to it. I can throw it out. I don't have to fight with it. I don't have to struggle. I can relax. I can nourish myself rather than criticize myself. That in fact, almost all ambition has criticism in it. You're not good enough. You got to go do this, rather than just merely changing your attitude. Oh, I'm good enough. I don't have to do it to be good enough. I'm already good enough.
Yes. So one thing I heard is that like to-do list, like you want to accomplish these things, people do it to get like pity, to get like in the state.
No, that's
No?
exactly opposite. That's exactly wrong. That's why these guys keep talking about it and keep struggling, yet they never get any pity. They never get it. How do you get that pity? Is by having that, wow, this is so nice. Wow, I don't have to do anything. Wow, everything is already okay. Wow, what to do? It's already done. Nothing to do now. Ah, I feel so good. That's the pity. And those
So
guys who are struggling to get pity, they don't get it. They lie to themselves. They don't even know what it is. They've read about it, and then they put it into the context of desire. Desiring desirelessness is not pity. Wanting something, even wanting to not want, is just more wanting. Instead of just changing your attitude, oh, everything is already okay. Everything is fine. No worries, no problems. Everything is already okay.
so pity comes when you don't want anything, right?
Pardon?
Pity comes when you don't want anything, right?
Pity comes when you realize that you don't want anything, and that's marvelous. When you keep practicing, pity is not going to come right away. First, you have to become comfortable and satisfied, and practice that over and over and over again, being comfortable and satisfied. And then you get the idea, wow, things are really comfortable. They're really satisfying. It keeps going. It keeps going. I can do this. And you begin to develop the attitude of a winner.
Yeah, but some things like have to be done, like I have to brush my teeth, for example, or
Well, then
eat.
go brush your teeth. I don't care whether you brush your teeth or not.
But isn't that wanting also? Desire.
Well, it's an activity.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But it's easily done.
Yes.
Okay. The only problem would be that you don't brush your teeth when you don't have a toothbrush, or maybe you can brush it with your finger, but it's an activity. It's like taking a drink of water. There's a difference between being in a desert where there's no water and you want water versus being where you are and there's a cup of water sitting right there. You want something that's immediately there. What we're talking about is wanting things you don't have. And ambition is wanting things you don't have. What we're really talking about here is only wanting things that are easily available. And brushing your teeth is easily available.
Well, some things are quite easily available, but there are also
Right,
times,
okay,
right?
so keep with that. Stay with what's easily available and stop wanting things that are hard to get, to struggle. I know you're resisting what I'm saying, that in fact about 90% of all the population of the world are in the same position that you are, struggling with struggling.
And why do you think that is? Why do you
Because I can read your face. I can see you frown. I can see you knit. I can see you knit your brows. I can see you say, yes, but. I can read you. I can read you a whole lot better than you can read you because you haven't gotten the habit of reading your own mind. So you're full of ambitions, full of desire, full of wanting, and you're not ready yet to just relax, to just stop wanting. Be okay the way you are. And therein lies the motivation, is success. Ambition is not success. Ambition is a failure. Why? Because the ambition stays. It doesn't matter what you get, what you're ambitioning for. Once you get it, the ambition is still there. So you go from one ambition to another ambition to another ambition. Start to see that ambition and recognize, oh, I see that ambition and I can just drop it. I'm already okay.
There's also idea of like making progress in life, you know?
Stop trying to make progress.
Yes, I understand. I understand. But there's
Yeah,
idea in culture. We have it.
there is the story of the Pilgrim's Progress. Back in the Middle Ages, when the Templars were the Templars were guarding, there was a huge number of pilgrims who were off on a journey trying to get to a holy site. Well, what happens to a pilgrim when he gets to the holy site?
He gets to go back.
Well, most of them actually would pick up and go to another holy site and
Oh,
yet another holy site. They would move from one holy site to the next because they haven't changed their mental state. They're still a pilgrim. Where in fact the whole point was to get to the holy site. If they stay at the holy site, they're no longer a pilgrim. Now they're a holy person in a holy site. So recognize that you've already arrived. You're already in a holy place. The place you have right now is whole, is good enough. So stop being a pilgrim with ambition to get to another holy site and just appreciate the holy site that you're in right now. That you're already there. You've arrived. You're good enough.
so you once I heard you say that the point of correct practice is to get to first jhana, right? And when
Well, that's the first jhana then, is getting to the holy site, and how you practice that is everything is already holy. Everything is good. The first jhana is to relax and feel good.
and
It's
you
not
feel
a goal, it's actually an anti goal.
So you're doing it
Stop
by
trying
no,
to get a goal and just relax. That's what the first jhana is. It's the pleasure of having nothing to do and no place to go, and we can just relax and everything is okay.
yes. Problem is you sit down and then there's a billion thoughts come in with do this, do that, do this.
Now that is grandiose.
Well,
That's the kind of grandiosity that comes from people who have ambition.
well, but they definitely
So
come.
it's not, no, they don't come in batches of a billion.
Yeah, one by one.
They come one at a time,
Yes.
one thought at a time. So you look at this thought that comes and says, oh, that's not wholesome. That's just another ambitious thought. Aha, I see that, and I can drop that thought and just relax. And then later another ambitious thought comes. Aha, I see you. And then we can just let that thought slide away and we can stay in that holy place.
So
And
the
then
point.
another thought comes. Oh, I've got to go here and I've got to go there. And then we say, aha, I see that thought too.
So the
Thoughts don't come in batches of billion, they come one at a time. Are you going to be able to see one thought at a time and throw it out?
so to like not act out these thoughts, right?
Pardon?
So the point is to not act out these thoughts, these like these desires.
Yes, see them that they're desires. See them as unwholesome. And say, I don't have to go do that right now. I'm already okay. So that you can maintain that first jhana, that state of being okay. Already okay. Everything is already sufficient. No place to go, nothing to do. Everything is fine. And then thoughts of ambition will come up. You're very, very good at having ambitious thoughts. Now you need to develop the skill of seeing those thoughts as ambitious and say, oh, I don't have to do that.
Well, they're not that ambitious. For example, I get thoughts like make some tea, but I don't have to make tea. Like I don't need tea. But there's desire, and it comes, and it comes, and it comes. It's like,
Yeah, but you're still talking about little things.
well, I mean, most of my life is little things,
You
right?
can break it down into even smaller things than that. Oh, tea. I got to go to the kitchen. That means I got to stand up. Well, standing up is easy enough. Going to the kitchen is easy enough. Making tea is easy enough. But what if you go to the kitchen to make tea and there's no tea? Where's your ambition? Is your ambition, oh, I've got to have a cup of tea. Now I got to go get in the car and go to town and buy tea. Why can't you just see, oh, there's no tea? Never mind, I don't need tea.
But even these desires of like wanting tea can be annoying.
Yes. And when you recognize that wanting tea is annoying, you say, oh, I don't need to have that annoyance. I don't need to want tea. I'm already okay.
Yes, of course.
You are struggling to find things to argue with me about, and you're running out of them. Do you know that you want to argue with me?
I have no idea. I'm just trying to talk.
Yeah, well, everything you say could start with yes, but. In fact, I've heard you use yes, but several times. Instead of saying, you could say, well, you're right. Well, I'm going to go try that. But you don't say that. You keep looking for arguments. You're trying to contradict everything that I say. That comes out of your ambition to be right. You don't have to be right with me. You could just say, oh, yeah, that's okay. I can do that. I can stop wanting to win. I can stop wanting, because why do you want to win? Is because you already feel like a loser. Why don't you start feeling like a winner? Yeah, I can do that. I could just sit down and do nothing. Can I hear that? Yeah, I could do that. I could just stop doing. I could just stop thinking. I can stop being ambitious. Every time I catch it, I can say, yeah, I see that ambition, and I can stop it. Can you do that?
Yes, I can. I can.
All right. Well, then go practice doing that.
I'll try. Of course, I'm always trying, always doing it to some degree, you know. But like, it's
I'm not
not as,
following you.
huh?
I'm not following you. I don't understand.
Oh no, I'm always trying to do that kind of thing, more or less. But you know,
What kind of
sometimes
thing?
dropping these kind of desires, dropping desires, not acting on them, catching them, and you know, these kind of things.
All right. Well, go practice. Don't seem
Okay.
to be very good at it yet. So you need some skill development. You need to practice. Your desires right now are much bigger. Your ambitions is much higher than your skill level to drop those ambitions. This is what needs to be practiced. You take
Okay.
the right effort to see those ambitions as ambitions and to drop them and say, oh, I don't need to go do anything. I'm already okay.
Yeah, no need for to-do list, right?
No need for a to do list.
Yes, of course, of course.
Just relax. Isn't that motivation enough just to relax?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, to feel good. That's the motivation. To already be satisfied with what you have. Ambition is wanting more, wanting something that you don't have, instead of being satisfied that you got everything you need.
So happiness is not getting stuff, it's dropping effort to get stuff, right?
Right. Just drop the effort and just be satisfied. Be happy, content.
So then why do we have these desires, like effort to do stuff, you know, like,
Because our society has been lying to you. And it lies to everybody. It's the society that's grown up over many centuries, including the Catholic Church, and power grabbing and wanting to be powerful and wanting things. So the greed has infiltrated our society to the point that everybody is raised in a model of greed.
so you don't think that's innate in genetics? Like,
It's partly based in DNA, but it is strongly reinforced by input from your parents. That, for instance, if a child is born to parents who are not greedy and are content and satisfied, he'll much more likely be content and satisfied. But the child who is born and raised by parents who are ambitious, it's much more likely that he's going to be ambitious. Yes, there is a DNA component. It's called instinctual. It comes out of the self preservation instinct, which is another word for fear. People who are ambitious are afraid. Their motivation is fear. They want to become successful because they feel afraid because they feel they're not successful. And so what we need to do is to practice little things that bring success, bringing satisfaction. And so we can just be satisfied. Remember to be satisfied. Remember, everything's already okay. Everything is fine.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like you feel pretty good, satisfied, and then desire comes, and then man, you think, oh, like 2 minutes ago was all fine, but now this thought come and it's like it's not fine. You know, like
Yeah, and see that and say, although that thought is not a fine thought, let's throw that thought out and start having fine thoughts.
yes. Or I didn't care about that. Like you know, a day ago I didn't care about that. Now I care about that. Why didn't I care then? It's like why do you care now, right? You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't matter. What's happening always is happening in the now. So can you see this thought, this moment, right now, is an unwholesome thought, it's an ambitious thought, it's wanting something, and I can throw that out and say, oh, I'm already okay. I'm fine.
Yes, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's, for example, wanting to buy tasty food, is that also unwholesome?
Well, one of the ways that you could think of it differently is any food that's nourishing, any food that's good for the body is also good for the tongue. Whatever it is, it's okay. Ambitious people want delicious food. They want special food. They go to expensive restaurants. And people who are just okay with the food, they'll eat whatever there's to be served.
Is that like the sense pleasures that Buddha talks about?
Well, yes. Sensual desire.
Yes, sensual
Hmm.
desire.
Of wanting something you don't have instead of being satisfied with what you have. Taking sensual pleasure out of what you do have instead of wanting sensual pleasure out of things you don't have.
Yeah, because sensual pleasure doesn't, like sensual desire doesn't give you that much pleasure, anyways. So, like,
Yeah, it's a lie. You've been lied to. Your culture has lied to you. Much of a tomato crop is thrown out because the fruit itself is not beautiful. It's not round, it's not perfect, it's got scars on it, and so they throw that out. Or, in fact, ugly fruit is just as okay, just as nourishing.
yes, of course, of course. You don't need sense pleasure, so it's not that good anyway. So, like, why do you crave it if it's not even that good, you know?
You have been taught to crave it.
Yes.
By seeing people who are craving it eat it. And so the child picks that up ignorantly. Monkey see, monkey do. So a lot of the craving that you come up with in your adult life was because you saw someone crave it when you were a little kid. Now it's time to take stock. Now it's time to recognize that you're already okay. You don't have to have special stuff to feel special. You're already okay. You don't need to be rich and famous. Just be happy the way you are.
Yeah, because trying to get rich and famous puts like a goal, right, that you have to achieve to be happy when you can be happy without having to
Right.
achieve anything.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to do anything at all to be happy
So you
other
put this,
than stop wanting stuff.
Not having criteria that you have to meet before you can be happy, right?
So lower that bar, lower those criteria, bring it down to ground level rather than high above you where you can't reach it. Bring it all the way down to the ground so that you can easily just step over whatever goals you have. Like brushing your teeth is a goal down at the ground. Having a gold toothbrush, that's a high goal. Having a golden bathroom to use a golden toothbrush, that's a really high goal. You don't need that. Just brushing your teeth is a goal that's just very low, something you can easily step over. So start living your life like everything you want is just so easy to get because you've lowered your standards. Down to just the fundamentals. Just enough clothing, just enough food, just enough shelter, just enough medicine that you're comfortable and satisfied. You don't have to have a ballroom gown. You don't have to have a tux. Just a pair of pants will do. Short pants at that. Everything's okay. Everything is fine. Not a worry in the world. That should be your goal, which is easy to match.
Okay, I see.
All right. So you go practice that. You go practice. Everything is all right. Everything is fine. I don't need anything. No goals.
Yes, I know. I know.
Just be satisfied. Just be happy. You've already got enough.
Okay, and where does the breathing come into this anapanasati?
Take a deep breath and relax. That's where it comes in.
To consciously control the breath, right?
Consciously control the breath. Make sure that you're breathing in well.
And that's it?
And that's all there is to it. Easy, easy, easy to do.
And then recognize the unwholesome thoughts and
change them. Aha, I see you. When you have the unwholesome thought, oh, I want tea, and then you can say, aha, I see
I
that.
don't need tea. I don't need tea, right? You say I don't need tea. I will not die without tea, right?
Whatever it is that you want, you can see that you want it happily. Ah, I see I want that tea. I see I want that knife. I see I want that girl. I see that I want that house. Wow, I'm glad I can see that.
Yes, because you don't actually need that to survive. Like you don't actually need it.
You're already surviving. You've got
Yes.
everything you need to survive. The best things in life are free.
Yes, I had these thoughts of like fear, but then I recognize I'm actually safe. No one's gonna kill me, so like, and that helped actually. Like I'm actually safe here. No one's gonna like, even someone like mocks me or something. Like they're not gonna kill me. Like you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't
Nobody's
matter.
killing you. That's right.
So it doesn't actually harm me. Like some words that said. So like, who cares?
Hmm. You're okay. Doesn't matter what other people say.
So
You
it's
don't have to listen to what they say. You can start listening to everything's okay. Everything is fine. No
yes,
problems. No worries.
because a lot of these instincts, I think, like they're not that. Not that applicable now. They're not that necessary as much.
Nothing is necessary. You've already got everything you need. Everything that's necessary is you've already got it.
Yeah, because you're
So
alive.
lower your
That's it.
standards.
You just hear and that's it. That's it.
Hmm. Just be satisfied. Be
And
happy.
No need to dig holes or, move a mountain.
Right. Just sit under the shade tree. The boss is gone.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, the boss is gone. You start relaxing your body. Relax your face. Do you know that you have a lot of tension right up here?
Yeah, I know. I noticed that and I relax it when I notice it.
Yeah, so
When I
start
notice it,
noticing that.
yes,
Start
yes, yes.
noticing at the tensions in the body and just relax.
Yeah, I'm doing that now, actually.
Okay, good. I see you smiling for the first time.
I think I smiled before.
I see it for the first time.
Okay.
Before you've been struggling, I think you're beginning to understand you can just smile and be okay already. Everything is already okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and finish now, and you go practice.
Okay, okay.
You go practice being satisfied.
I will
Practicing.
practice. I will
Yeah.
practice. Okay.
All righty. We'll see you.
Okay. Bye. Good luck.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.